We have to first figure out, we have three equations. And this first equation we use only if the x value is less than or equal to -3. If it's a number, if our number, which is inside of our parentheses, if the number inside of our parentheses is greater than -3, but less than or equal to +1, then we use this equation. But if x is greater than 1, the answer is just 4. So the main thing we have to do is figure out what equation we're going to use. So we got our blue equation, we got this equation, and we got this equation. So for part A, what equation do you think we're going to substitute -3 in? The blue, the pink, or the green? The blue, right? Because this one said that it can equal -3. We don't use this one because it can't equal -3. So we're going to take that -3 and substitute it only into this equation. So we're going to have -3 -3 plus 1, and our answer would just be -2 for part A. And that's it. For number 2, or question B, I should say, which one do you think we're going to use? Which one owns, what equation owns the number 2? Is it the blue, the pink, or the green? It's the green. Here, let me go ahead and separate this up in the number line. Maybe that'll help because I feel like we might be a little confused. So I got this here. And so I have the x plus 1. That's what I use if the number is over here. If the number on the number line is in between -3 and 1, then we're going to use 2x minus 3. And if it's greater than 1, then the answer is 4. The tricky part is, what if it lands on the number? Then you have to know, are you going to go to the left side or are you going to go to the right side? So that's the main thing to know. So if it lands on -3, then it belongs to the x plus 1. If it lands on +1, then it would belong to the 2x minus 3. All right, so hopefully maybe that helps. So +2 on the number line is over here. So that means the answer is just 4. Somebody open up the door, please. So the answer would just be 4. For question C, thank you, we have a 1. So which one of these equations am I going to use for 1? So 1 falls on the fence. So am I using the red or the green? The red, okay, because the red said that it can equal 1. So I'm going to take the 1 and plug it into this equation. 1 goes here. So that would be 2 times 1 minus 3. And when you type that in your calculator, 2 times 1 minus 3, you should get -1. So that's your answers to the first 3. All right, now let's look at question D. -6 on the number line, that's over here somewhere. So I'm going to substitute the -6 into this equation. So for question D, it would be -6 plus 1. So the answer would be -5. All right, I want you to try to do E and F on your own, and then we'll go through it. Take a minute. Give you a couple minutes. See if you know what equation you're going to use for E and F. You only use one. You don't plug it into all 3. You have to know what equation belongs, what function do I use 0 for? What function do I use +3 for? So take a minute, see if you get your 2 answers, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, so let's see. For question E, which number would you use for question? I mean, what function did you use for E? The blue, the red, or the green? Red. The red. 0 on the number line is in between -3 and 1. So that means I'm going to substitute the 0 in here. So that would be 2 times 0 minus 3, which is -3. Raise your hand if you had -3. All right, and then F, when X is 3, well, 3 is greater than 1. So anytime it's greater than 1, the answer is just 4. So the answer is 4. It's a constant function, 4. And that's how you evaluate. So this is a piecewise. You don't have to graph it. You just have to figure out where you're doing your substitution. All right, let's do one more evaluate. I want you to try to do this one all on your own. So I'm giving you 3 new equations. And I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. We'll pretend like this is a test question, and then you can grade it. I'll give you the answer. So take a minute, copy it down, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, who's still working? You ready? All right, let's go through it. So for our first one, so again, I'm going to go ahead and make my number line. I don't know if this is helpful or not, but you have your number line that's broke apart at the -5 and the 3. If it's less than -5, we use x plus 1. If it's between -5 and 3, then we're going to use the function x squared minus 2. And if it is greater than or equal to 3, then it's just the square root of x. Okay. -5. -5 belongs to the middle function because this one is equal to -5. So -5, I'm going to shade this fence right here purple because that's who that belongs to. So if we happen to land on -5, we have to go with the purple. And then +3 belongs with the square root of x. So if we get a number that if we actually get 3, then we have to go with the green. All right, so now let's go. -7 falls over here. So when you substitute that into your equation, -7 plus 1, you should get -6. I'm going to go through all of the answers, and then I will answer questions as needed. For the -5, now, if you're using your calculator, which I don't recommend, you have to put parentheses around the -5 or you're going to get -27, which is wrong. 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 minus 2 is 23. For +3, we're going to take the square root of 3, which you can just leave it like that. You don't have to write it as a decimal. You could just leave it as the square root of 3. For 0, that goes in the middle, x squared minus 2, so that's -2. For +9, that goes with the square root of 9, which is actually 3. And for -10, we're going to use x plus 1, which is -9. Raise your hand if you got at least 4 right. Any questions? Yes. Oh. Questions or any that you need me to go through? Yes, Lauren.
So if it's like -5 or -3, you tell us kind of go to
The one that's equal to. So when you look at the rule, do you see how this is the equal to? So that's why I can't use this top one because that's not equal to -5. Okay, you have to look at which inequality is equal to know what function you're going to use.
okay.
All right, so now let's talk about homework. Go ahead, take out homework 9. I wanted to go through some of the piecewise functions with you. So I'm pretty sure, well, you should be able to do this one. This one is pretty straightforward. Can you pull up Canvas for me again? Because I'm like, I don't know if I got the right.
Which ones do you want to do? Because I have the numbers right now.
Is 94 number 29? Is that actually number?
Yeah, there's 29. Oh, that's not 29. That's supposed to be.
Okay, that was
Because I drew a graph.
I think is it.
Because I asked to find these, and so I drew a graph. But I was just supposed to fill.
Yeah, that's right. They have to do that. Okay, so let's see. I think that one should be easy. I don't think we need to do number 29 because we just talked about that one. Basically, for number 29, if you draw a number line, if you have a number between -3 and 1, then we're going to use 2x plus 4. And if you have a number between 1 and 5, it's x cubed minus 1. Now, notice that this part of our number line is undefined. I don't have anything over here or anything over here. So if we had a number less than -3 or greater than 5, it would be undefined. Because we only have it defined between -3 and 1 and 1 and 5. Okay, but that's not the one I wanted to go through. I wanted to go through the one that has the graph. I think it's this one, yeah. Number So let's do this one together. So homework 10, page 95, number 35. That's the one I wanted to do. That's on there, right? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and work through this together, y'all. This is a piecewise. We have to graph it. So I like to just start where let's start off with the top one. Let's start with this one here. So for that one, if I were to make a table, so it's y equals x plus 3. It's going to start at -2 and it ends at 1. So go ahead and type in those two numbers to get our values. So if you type in -2 and 1, what do you get for your y values? So -2 plus 3 and 1 plus 3. So -2 plus 3 would be a positive 1. And 1 plus 3 is 4. Now when we look at this, is that -2, is this open or closed? Closed. And what about the 1, 4? Is that open or closed? Open. So we have a closed here and an open. So in geometry, we call this a segment. You guys remember a segment? A segment has 2 points. All right, this is an array. It's a segment. So we're going to draw a segment, put a closed circle at -2, 1. And an open circle at +1, 4. And connect it. And that's that first graph. For the middle one, that's just a point. It just says that when x is 1, y is 5. So there is nothing to graph. We don't need to make a table. We're just going to put a point at 1, 5. That's it. There's no table that needs to be made. We just put a point right there. That's all we have to do, because it's equal. So that's just a point. And then the last one, we do need to make a table. So it's y equals -x plus 2. It's telling us to start at 1 and then pick numbers greater than 1. So I'm just going to do 1, 3, and 5. I just picked any numbers. All right, go ahead, figure out what your 3 y values are. Hi. Good. I was trying to figure out if I should. Never mind. I ain't even gonna say it. It's been good.
Why
It's
didn't
been
you
good.
visit the student?
You know what? I'll tell you at the end of class.
Is it bad?
All right. What you get for the first one? 1. What'd you get for 1? So we have -1 plus 2, which is just a 1. And then -3 plus 2, -1. -5 plus 2, -3. Now this first point, is that open or closed right here?
That one is
Open. All right, so let's go ahead and draw it. Now this one is a ray. It's not a segment because it's going towards infinity. Okay, so I'm going to put a point at an open point at 1, 1. And then I have a point at 3.
You can have you can have 2 opens on your.
Yep. You can have a whole bunch of opens.
But you can't close.
You can only have one close. Okay, so then what was the other one? 5, -3. All right, so this one looks like this. Can I put an arrow on my purple one?
No. Wait.
Yeah, because it's going towards infinity. Yeah. That's your graph.
We have to find a domain and range for this.
No.
Why not?
We leave those for DC.
Don't say why not.
It was on the video.
You know what? I mean,
See what you.
no. But in dual credit, yes. Okay.
That's twice.
I mean,
I was asking a simple
Yes.
question, Lauren. She's not making us do it. I was asking a simple question.
18 on number 8.
okay. So let's talk. Let me